Hey, what's up potential Canada Goose shoppers? You found this video probably because you're looking for Canada Goose product review or you're trying to find alternatives to Canada Goose. Similar to you, I was trying to find alternatives to Canada Goose products, not because they're not good. It's just because that everybody has it right now, so I'm trying to see what else is out there. Canada Goose cannot be the only brand. And sure enough, during my search, a lot of people recommended the company Nobis, citing that they're almost like the Rolls-Royce of winter jackets. And sure enough, I look at the product line, they all look beautifully designed, and just from review, it looks like everything is of really high quality. So is the price. I mean, price-wise, they're similar to Canada Goose. For example, this parka I have on right now, it costs about $800. It's not cheap by any stretch of imagination. But of course, if you have extra cash or if you have these needs, it is a good investment because you're not just going to wear this for 1 year. It's going to last you for a long time. Now, in my previous review, I talked about another Nobis product called the Cartel Bomber Jacket. But for two reasons, I ended up exchanging it. One of them being the cuff getting cut at the Velcro of the hood, and then it causes pilling of the cuff. The second reason being that for me, it's not quite rugged enough and not quite warm enough for where I want to wear this jacket at, which is maybe visiting Iceland, Alaska, or further up north into Canada, where the weather will be a little bit harsher. So that bomber jacket, while it's really good as well, it's just too much of an in-between jacket for me. So after I returned that jacket, I went ahead and got the Nobis Yatesy jacket. As you can see, I took the tag off, so I'm keeping this guy. This is honestly it's a guilty pleasure purchase because I won't be using this jacket that much because it's really warm. But at the same time, it is so well built, so well made. It's beautiful. It's almost like an artwork. I realized that I had to keep this, and it sounds kind of ridiculous for clothing, but I'll go more in depth for it. So a little bit about sizing first, because I know a lot of people have questions about sizing before they drop this much money on jackets. And let's get that out of the way. I am 5'6" and a half. That translates to about like 169, 170 cm. And I am 140 or 145 pounds, depending on the day I weigh myself. This jacket I have on is size extra small, and let me just show you. Spin around real quick. And it fits me good. Now, if you looked at my Nobis Cartel review, the bomber jacket fits me even better. It's like a perfect fit. This Nobis Yatesy, it is starting to get slightly snug. Right now I have a t-shirt on, but I did test it out wearing ultralight down jackets inside. I got the North Face ultralights, and it fits. It does not feel, I do not feel compressed, but it fits well. So I can layer this, and that's one of my major concerns, is that what if just this jacket is not warm enough? Can I put more things in? And the answer is yes, I can. Now, the reason I say it fits a little bit more snug compared to the Cartel bomber jacket is mainly because of the cuff. So let me put this out. The cuff, even though both jackets I got are extra small, this is noticeably more snug. I'm not sure if this is done intentionally to kind of retain the warm air inside your jacket, so they make it a little bit more snug, or they just have different cut for different jackets. I am not sure, but I'm 5'6", 5'6" and a half. Fits me well. My feeling is that if you are 5'7" and a half and maybe even 5'8", you probably want to consider stepping it up to a size small. Again, this is extra small. I'm 140 pounds and about 5'6" and a half, and right now it fits well. Anything, if you're taller, longer limbs, a little bit, actually, waist-wise is okay, I have a lot of gifts. But height-wise, length-wise, I would suggest stepping up to a size small if you're taller than me. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's check out some of the features. And before I even get to the feature, let me just say my impression of opening the box. It came with a really big box, and it's quite heavy too. When I opened it, I'm like, what is this Dawn comforter? I pull it out. Material is the same material as I got for the Cartel jackets, which means it's excellent quality. Also has an interior cuff, like I mentioned. And I noticed that it is packed with a lot more Dawn. It's definitely a lot puffier. And these are the Canadian geese feather, which has really excellent rating in terms of retaining heat. And another thing I noticed is that right off the bat, the fur, is a lot more full than what came with the cartel jacket. Let's see if we can just... And of course you have the hood adjuster here to adjust how much this kind of hang over your head. And the fur is just really full. Another thing I noticed is that the fur on the side is a lot longer than the middle. I don't want to say they did this intentionally, but I have a feeling that they may have designed this intentionally so that when it's back here, the back of your head is not being irritated by the long fur. And the fur is actually really luxurious. I'm really surprised at how nice these fur is, even compared to a cartel jacket. I thought cartel jacket is already fantastic. So this is really fluffy, really full. So over the weekend, since we're talking about fur, I was at New York, and to celebrate that, I had I love New York jacket. So now I'm like officially a tourist, which is fine. I like tourists. So I was in New York, and it was cold. The weather dipped to about 32 degrees. I know some of you guys are probably laughing right now. It's like 32, that's like springtime. But for me it was cold, it was 32. I was wearing my, my setup. I didn't bring this jacket actually, I thought it'd be overkill. I brought my ultralight down jacket from North Face with a shell, and man, I was freezing. And I looked around and paid attention to what people are wearing around the city. A lot of people are wearing parkas, and there's so many Canadian Goose out there. I mean, I hear about it. This time I actually paid attention. A lot of people are wearing Canada Goose. Now, one thing I've noticed about Canada Goose is that it, especially Langley, it looks a lot more slim compared to the Nobis Yatesy. This one, it feels kind of puffy. Here in the Langley and the Citadel, there's actually a way to cinch it down inside the jacket. Unfortunately, that was not an option for the Yeti, but we'll get more into it later. The point is that there are a lot of people wearing Canada Goose in New York, and I noticed that the strip of fur is definitely not as fluffy as this. And for some reason, it all seems to be this type of fur, like a little bit more white, and the entire strip is white. Versus this one, the side just seems to be a lot more poofier. Now, I'm not sure if it's on the individual jacket cases, but looking at the video and pictures I see online for Nobis jackets, the Yeti jackets, this seems to be the standard. Where for the Canada Goose jacket, the fur seems to be white or a little bit off-white. So I don't know, I'm sure they're both coyote fur, or maybe they use different part of the coyote, I don't know. If you know, leave a comment, because I'm really curious as well. But comparing the two, I definitely prefer this type of fur a little better in terms of just how it looks. Alright, moving on, let's talk about features a little bit. The cartel bomber jacket is pretty feature rich, I like it. And this one has a little bit more stuff because they expect you to use it in colder weather. So logically they have more stuff built in. But let me come in a little bit closer. We'll start from the hands. So similar to the bomber jacket, they have the thumb loop for people that like it. Otherwise, it's a really nice snug cuff. Personally, I like thumb loop, so I'll probably go like this. And you have the sleeve that covers all the way to your wrist. And you have a Velcro that allows you to cinch it closer if you want. Material-wise, it's similar to the cartel, which is great because I really like the subtle look. It does not make the annoying trash bag sound. So it's a nice fabric. In terms of pockets, we have the hand warmers right here. These are lined with fleece. They do have 2 buttons for these, which I'm not sure if I like. I kind of prefer to just be open pockets where I can just slip my hands in without having to go like this, and then slip my hands in. And I remember the bomber jacket has a pocket up here too. Some people think it's kind of odd, but to me it's a really natural resting place for my hands, which is great. Now, speaking of hand warmer pockets, I actually have one extra set of hand warmer pockets down here, but they are also closed by zippers. So instead of buttons, these are zipper. To me it's a little easier, so I just unzip it, Also lined with the same fleece material as top. So I can stick my hands in there. And this is also comfortable. I mean, this is a little bit more casual. Here seems a little bit more. If I need to like stick my hand in something long term, probably stay out here. Here's nicely supported. Versus like just maybe waiting for traffic lights, something quick. I just stick my hands in here. It's kind of nice too. Although the pocket down here is pretty shallow. You see how my palm is still kind of sticking out a little bit. It's a little bit shallow. This one is a deep pocket. You can go all the way in, and you can stay really warm. All right, continuing with pockets, we also have 2 button pockets right here. These are not lined, but these are pretty deep, so you can probably store some larger items in here. Same thing with the left-hand side. And I open this up, showing my I Love New York t-shirts, Tourist Pride. Interior zip pockets, unlined right here for small items. Velcroed elastic pocket right here for larger items. This is actually really large space. I like the fact that it has a little Velcro here. As long as I'm careful not to get my cuff caught there, but I can store a lot of things here. Same thing with this side. Elastic pockets. Also small Velcro closure for a little in the center. An interesting thing here, let me back up a little bit, is that I have something like a snow skirt in here. So I have Velcro here, the male side, female side, and the female side. And what I can do is I can just kind of catch the left female side here, and then I have they kind of lock my jacket in and create kind of like a skirt. So snow or wind cannot go from underneath up here, which I think is great in a more severe situation or environment. Here's another thing, like here, if you have seen my Nobis Cardell jacket, you know one of my major concerns is that there's an open male side of Velcro here that will catch my cuff and destroy the cuff each time. So here, they know to cover up the male side of the Velcro when not in use. I just wish they would do something similar to the cartel jacket's male Velcro. So inside is really puffy, and like I mentioned before, it is unfortunately they do not have a cinch to make the waist a little bit more snug, so that your silhouette will look a little bit more slim. Unfortunately, they do not have that, but this jacket is really warm. It's really puffy. It's a different look. It's more like a, oh, you know, I'm hip, I don't care look, versus like a more slim, more tailored look. Now, one issue I do have is that the Velcro, not the Velcro, sorry, I keep thinking about the Velcro. The zipper, I was having issue. It's a double-sided zipper, it's a 2-headed zipper, so you can kind of zip the bottom, but I was having the hardest time zipping it up until I slowly get used to it. So I got to put this in first. I gotta make sure I'm standing up straight, and then I can zip it up easily. Before, like, I was leaning down trying to see what's going on, so I guess the zipper is not completely straight. So I was like having the hardest time. But so apparently put it in, stand up straight, maybe peek down, and then you can slip it up smoothly. Newbie mistake. But it's unlike the cartel where even if I'm like looking down, whatever, it can slip up really easily. But if you have longer hands, this is probably not going to be an issue at all. I'm just a short dude, so I struggle with the zipper until I learn the proper method, quote unquote. Just stand up straight, go like this. Similar to the cartel jacket, magnetic closure. I love this, by the way. Really cool. You can hear it snapping into place. Right? I wish this could be like magnetic too, so I don't have to like button it up every single time. So let me put on the hood too, so you can get the full effect if you are out, say in Iceland, waiting to see the northern lights, or you just want to pretend you're E.T. again, you know, E.T. from home. So this is really substantial. Again, this top piece can kind of control how far hanging over your face this is. Alright, back out again. But for the most part, I figure you probably just have it hanging back here. The fur does zip off, the hood does not. And without the fur, the hood just looks ridiculous. So it's just like a big flap of of like this material, this fabric, just kind of hanging there. It looks really bad. So chances are you're just gonna leave the fur on the whole time. I think that's pretty much it. That pretty much covered this parka. One other additional thing that I really like about the parka is that it's a double zipper like I mentioned, so you can kind of unzip the bottom a little bit. I mean, you do have the side, you have the snow skirt, at least that's what I'm calling it. So snow and cold air, if you have that up, it's not gonna come up too much. And also, there are 2 buttons on each side to kind of give you a little bit more legroom and flexibility, which I have undone. And I like it because like it does not affect my mobility at all. You know, I was like sitting and I'm like, and it's perfect. It's good. So as I mentioned before, the cartel bomber jacket is too much of an in-between jacket. For me, the Yetzy, it's just harsh weather cold jackets, which I may not use a lot. But just due to how well it's built, how nice it looks, and how awesome it would be to have something like this on those trips that does require a jacket like this, I decided to just keep this as a cutie purchase. And if you know me, I'm really indecisive as a person, and it's really hard for me to make up my mind about certain things. And that is why I do so much research before I buy anything. And that is why the stuff that I get, usually it's, I think, what fits me best, and I think it's probably the best in that category. For me to make a cutie purchase like this, for something that I may not use a lot, says a lot about the product. And for me, this Yetzy, Nobis Yatesy jackets, is actually one of the very few cutie purchase that I've done recently. And that is saying a lot for this jacket. It is really well built, it is just fantastically designed, and it is warm. And in terms of style, it is a shame that I cannot cinch it down to have a nicer silhouette, but I think it's still excellent. So for me, I mean, I think it's worth the purchase if it's something useful for you, or if you have the extra fun that you can kind of just buy something like this. Now, the other big debate about with me and my friends is that should I just keep the cartel jacket or should I just get this? Which one looks nicer on me? Because I'm a short person, I'm concerned that if I get a parka, maybe it'll make it look even shorter. And some people say that, hey, bomber jacket, short jacket will make sure people look more proportional, so they look a little bit taller. The interesting thing is that I asked a lot of my female friends. I must have asked like 7 to 8 people. I just sent them pictures of both. Be like, hey, which one do you think fits me nicer? Everybody 30 and under picked the bomber jacket. Everybody 30, 31 and above picked the parka. So the argument is that, afterwards, I kind of sum up everything. The argument is that the bomber jacket, while it's a short cut, it is a little bit wider, you know, it makes people focus on the jacket instead of me, and because it's wider, it makes me look a little bit more squashed. Versus the parka, the argument is that, okay, it's kind of completes your silhouette, so it's no break in between, so it actually makes you look a little bit taller due to that. Now, I'm sure there's like a little truth in both of them, and there's no right or wrong answer, but ultimately, I am 30 plus, and so I will go with the 30 plus opinion of how I should dress. Whether it's something a little bit more professional or like makes me look a little bit more slimming in people who are 30 plus, or whatever. But I guess because I'm 30 plus as well, maybe my aesthetic sense is closer to the 30 plus group as well. So since it's pretty even split, I just went with what I thought seems to fit me, as well as my lifestyle or how I want to use this jacket down the road, which is to go to like harsher weather places. So I got this, and for a slightly warmer city traveling, I actually got a different shell jacket to pair with my ultralight Dawn. Talk about saving money, right? End up spending more. So I'm sure a little bit later, once that jacket comes in, I'll do a review as well, because that other jacket looks really good too. But that has been another really long review for the Nobis jacket, even longer than the cartel bomber jacket. It's actually almost 20 minutes. I'm sorry for rambling. So I'll wrap it up. Great jackets. If you don't mind the cost, which is about $800, and if you see needs for a jacket like this, go ahead and get this. You will not be disappointed. But of course, also check out Canada Goose. They are good they're so popular for a reason. Try not to let the stigmatism affect you too much because they are a nice jacket as well. But for me personally, I think I love this look. It's really subtle, and it just looks classy to me as well, and it is warm. And I like the fact that I can still be really mobile while wearing this. And that's pretty much it. Not much else to say. Just a quality product I really like. Alright, well, hope this review has been helpful. If you have any questions and comments, feel free to leave a comment, and I'm sure me or somebody else will get back to you. And have a happy 2016.